Cowbell, cowbell, cowbell. I read in the Telegram chat earlier today that our listeners wanted more cowbell. So I hope that
more cowbell.
Cacophony or cowcacophony of cowbells satisfied their needs.
I just read that in the notes too, that you said cowcacophony.
Actually, Taebyn put that in the notes.
Oh,
so
I stole your joke, Taebyn. I'm sorry.
Hi. Well, hello, welcome, and Moobarkfluff to all the creatures in the Potiverse. Taebyn, I want to point out that I did not say who in my end. You are tuned into Barely Furcasting featuring Taebyn, a podcast that answers the question, if a dog could talk, what would it say? Joining me today in the studio is Rayne Raccoon. How are you doing, Rayne? All right. Also here with us is our intrepid news reporter, TickTock. How are you, TickTock?
I've been good. However, I'm also been busier than a termite in an Ethan Allen showroom.
Okay.
That's a New England joke.
That's pretty busy.
Good one.
That's I don't know that most of our listeners will get that reference.
Well,
Ethan Allen makes
England
high quality wooden furniture.
Yes, they do, but I don't think I've seen an Ethan Allen store in a long time. And for the world of Hollywood, we have Cheetaro. How are you, Cheetaro?
I am doing excellent. I've been running around as a cheetah does at high speed and somewhat tired, but I am good.
Awesome. Excellent. TickTock and Cheetaro, we look forward to hearing from you later in the show with your respective reports. And of course, the podcast would not be complete without the doggo themselves, Taebyn. How the fluff are you, Taebyn?
Well, that's how I am. Well,
that's a deep subject.
I'm pretty good. It is it's a very deep subject.
Hole in the ground.
And as you can hear, and as you noted earlier, my voice is a little bit scratchy, and that's because I was at Denfur. I just got back from Denfur, so I'm getting back from, because you know how I am at cons. I kind of yell and bark all over the cow and stuff. So
yes, you do.
I'm getting a little
I was
bit
afraid you got kennel cough. You've been inoculated?
He hadn't been inoculated for kennel cough, and that's what he has now.
I had not.
No,
that's
you've
true.
got kennel cough.
This is my problem.
That's
my fault. My fault.
Traveling, you in those kennels. You got to have your kennel cough inoculations.
It's true, and they didn't give that to me. They just shoved me in the kennel and like, okay, here you
no.
are for another 2.5 hours. So anyway,
enjoy your flight.
Yeah, but no, things are good.
And you recently went to an event. Where did you catch this con?
I did. From Denfur, yes.
Oh God, Denver, yay!
Yay! So, thank you for helping me with that segue. Yes. So, of course, let me do a little recap of Denfur. Before I do, I want to do a quick plug again for A&W Film Festival, Anthro Northwest Film Festival in Seattle in January. If you filmmaker furs out there want to submit a video or film, please go to the Anthro Northwest website and click the buttons and submit a thing. Also, I want to plug for at A&W will be Munchkin's Traveling Circus. It's a variety show that I'll be co-hosting on Thursday night. And so you can submit if you have a variety show act that you would like to do. And of course, get out the fluff in Seaside, Oregon in February. Okay, so Denfur stuff. So first I want to note that, so I was looking for final attendance numbers for Denfur this year because at closing ceremonies, they didn't quite have they had charity numbers and all that stuff. They raised $15,000 for charity, which was awesome. And the charity they had these adorable little week-old kittens and stuff. It was a really good charity. They had a video at the end and they had these touching stories. And this was one of the best give me money charities. The best way to get money is because of all these touching stories and these adorable week-old kittens. And it is amazing. Anyway, so they had all these great numbers and information, of course, at closing ceremonies, but they didn't quite have the exact attendance numbers because of their system and everything. So they were still trying to sort it out. So today I was going online to try and find and see if they actually had the final attendance numbers yet, which they don't quite yet. But in doing so, I found the Anthrocon numbers, which I forget if we talked about before, but if we had, I forgot. And I took note of this, so I'm going to say it again. Anthrocon this year had 17,639.
That's a lot of furs.
That's
That
2,000
is.
more than MFF last year. Now, last year, AC had 13,644. They gained 4,000 in 1 year.
Yep. Wow.
This is crazy. And then, so the year I went to AC in 2018, they had 8,407. So they have literally a little more than doubled
Mm-hmm.
or attendance in 6 years. It's crazy. I can't imagine what the registration lines and stuff must have been like. I mean, I remember when I went, it was just with half that people. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and FWA also actually reached into the 15,000s this year, same as MFF last year. So
Yeah.
we're really growing. Anyway, Denfur. Sorry, I got off on that because I saw that and that was like blew me away. Cow fluff.
Cow fluff. I've never
Cow
fluffed
fluff.
a cow.
Oh,
Good.
I
Good.
didn't even
Yeah.
know her.
You can only fluff the bulls.
Denfur, Taebyn, Denfur.
Denfur. Yes. So this was my second Denfur. I went last year. This was really great. I was very busy, had a great time. Last year, I don't know if you remember when I talked about Denfur on the show last year, there was some drama and organizational issues that I actually wasn't a part of. I just heard about and stuff, but I still had a great time last year. But so lots of furs that I talked to this year and afterwards said that this year was much more organized and went better than last year. So they're improving. And now this is actually notable because AEIOU, which is Denfur's organization, they had some reshuffling earlier this year, and there was like drama and stuff, and people were scared that this year wouldn't go well or that this would be the last year. Well, they announced at closing ceremonies there will indeed be a Denfur next year. Yay! So this is all very
Yay.
uplifting with all the drama and reshuffling that happened. That it was such a great. I mean, every Friday I talked to you had a great time at Denfur this year. So that's great.
Good.
So some notes about it. The layout was better this year than last. So you might or might not remember me talking last year about their structure, their hotel structures. They have a plaza side and a tower side. The tower side, because of like remodeling and crazy stuff, it's like this huge maze that's impossible to find anything and stuff. The plaza side is great though. And last year they had my Taebyn Sings Weird Al in tower on second stage. So they had me on the stage. That's great. But like hardly anyone showed up, not because they didn't want to. It's because, and people told me this too, they couldn't find it. And I believe them too, because it took us like forever to find it in the first place. But this year, they purposely did not schedule anything on second stage or any panel rooms in tower. Yeah, it was very smart. So apparently I wasn't the only one with those issues. And all the panel rooms this year and all the main stuff that was going on was in Plaza. So that's great. In one area, it was really great. Dealer stand, which was in Plaza last year. Dealer stand and registration and Artist Alley were all in Tower, but they were all easy to find. Like they were all on the same floor. So the structure and layout was a lot better this year. Speaking of registration, because I mentioned the word, registration wasn't actually bad either. We were sponsors. Registration was supposed to open at 9 a.m. on Friday. We got in line at 8:30, and there was already this huge line, and that was a little scary, as you know, because you furs have been in this situation. Registration actually opened at 9:05, and we were out within 45 minutes.
Wow.
Out. You waited outside the room and stuff, and the line outside the room went pretty quickly up approaching the room. So it went really well, and you got up and got registered pretty well and quick, and that was a nice experience. So, we just happened to talk to the first attendee that happened to get in line.
Oh,
because he's of course there when we got there, and he said that he got in line at 6:37 a.m.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like he didn't really need it, but okay, great.
Right? Yeah, because and you don't know, but
you never
it's a crap
know.
show.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Yeah,
you just don't know. But that's 6:37. That's crazy.
Yeah, especially for pup because you don't get up till like the crack of noon.
I don't get up till at least noon, exactly. It was pretty amazing that I was in line at 8:30. How did they do that? So a few things that I did. I did the floor wars. It went well. Other furs and competitors said my thing went well. And one said my dance was sassy. Which is, I never said that my dance was sassy.
Sassy.
Wow.
You're such a sassy pup.
I'm a sassy pup. Taebyn Sings Weird Al went really great. Every fur involved, had a good time and dancing and singing along or whatever. And I did a 90-minute set, so I threw in a few more songs. Overall, there was about 40 in attendance, so that's pretty good, I think, for me. At the end, so some fur, shout out to Savvy Slayer. He drew a few sketches during the set of me singing, and it gave it to me.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, no, and it's really good too. Like they're a really good artist. This was at the very end, and every fur's running around and everything. And there were a few that wanted me to have a group photo with them outside of the room. So on my way out of the room, they handed this to me, and I didn't even look at it because I was running out that, and I'm like, thanks. And so, but now I've seen it. And I can't find this Savvy Slayer in the chat or anything. So Savvy Slayer, if you're listening to this, thank you so much. You did really great, and I really appreciate it. I especially love it, and this is to you, Savvy, because you'll know what I'm talking about. Especially love the little picture of me saying that I'm so. Well, I guess I'll tell you since I'm saying it. He had a little side picture of my facey, saying, because this is what I said. We have 5 or 6 songs left to go. But the picture he has is of me sweating and a little sign pointing to me that says, is very tired. Because you could hear it in my muzz, I'm sure. I was very tired. Because 5 or 6, I was only like halfway through. I had like 12 songs or something. So, and let's see.
That explains why the voice is so
went
shot.
really well. Oh, also have to shout out to Wolf Guardian and Matt the Hat from Dancing Dragon Productions. For getting it early with their Furryoki equipment. So they had Furryoki right after me. They actually wanted to go to my Weird Al anyway, so they actually got there earlier. There were technical difficulties, and so they were actually able to set me up with their Furryoki equipment.
Yeah, nice.
Which worked out really well. So shout out to them. Thank you. And they had me sing the opening Furryoki song. So that's very cool.
Nice.
And I should say,
after you sang a whole hour or 90 minutes worth of Weird Al.
Yes. So, and Matt said to me when they were about to start, they said, so where are you going to sing, Taebyn? And I said, I don't know. Do you? And Matt's like, can I choose? It's like, sure. It doesn't have to be Weird Al or anything. Like, he didn't tell me what. But so I'm about to start, and you've got the little screen that has, the lyrics and everything, and it says the title of the song and everything, and here's a mic, and so Matt's introducing me and says, since I'm such a sadist. Oh, no. First he says, here's Taebyn, who just got done singing 90 minutes straight of Weird Al. Now, since I'm such a sadist, I'm going to have him sing this song. He didn't say it. He just let me see it on the screen. And there it was, Like a Surgeon.
I've been trying to get Taebyn to do that one forever. I love Like a Surgeon.
So that was good. It went over well, but yeah, very apropos, I guess is the word, apropos. Dan, I went to the dance comp. One of the big notables about that is make sure to check out the Backstage Boys' act from the dance comp. It was really great and fun. It had 5 or 6 furs, including Fluke Husky,
nice.
And some other notable dancey furs. And it was a really good routine. It was really good. Lots of fun. See, another notable music thing, of course, I went to the nightly dances, and there was one particular DJ set by Amra, A-M-R-A, so shout out to Amra the Lion. He has a website, all you first can go to. His set was really great. I had actually not been at a DJ set at a
I do not
like this
know how he
well.
DJs with his head on.
And yeah, and he DJs with his lion head on.
Yes.
But I haven't been to a set as good as this, at least for me, in a long time. It was electro trance chill. It was just really, really nice and good and fun. Last thing I'll say then, another, just as far as what I did, story time with Taebyn went really great. I also had 90 minutes, but because of other things we wanted to do, I only went for 75. But it went really well. We had about 45 in attendance, maxed out the room.
Wow.
And they all stayed pretty much the whole time. Very enthusiastic crowd, and we all had a great time.
Awesome.
Overall, I thought it was a really great con that has overcome some recent challenges, and I would attend again.
Yay! All right. Well, thank you for that wonderful recap. One of these years, I'm going to get to Denfur and
Me too.
see about what that's all about. And
it's good stuff. Lots of fun.
lots of fun. Is there anything you don't understand, Taebyn?
Actually, there is.
How the mic mute button works.
Yeah.
So how the mute button works, and also how could there be so many furs at AC and not have a civil war? I mean, come on. All those doggies and kitties, it's like, I mean, come on. There's got to be some little fluffaganda going on there.
Okay. Yeah, true.
I think it's just furs are just the nicest beings in the universe.
Uh-huh.
I think actually it's proof of that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Oh.
Is that the only thing you don't understand?
For now, I've just been so busy running around all of Colorado that I haven't had time to know of anything else I don't understand. Maybe I'll figure out some more things I don't understand for next time.
All right. Are you going to hear our roar book today?
Yes. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Time's up.
And so now the next three.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is owl. So I'll do that thing where I try playing it from the book, and then I'll try recreating the sound and see how that goes.
Okay.
And all you furs, I have not heard these sounds before. Now. Okay, so the owl hunts. Owl. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So the next is the seagull looks for water. Ew, 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 ew.
I thought seagulls looked for your food.
Oh, that's right. I don't know. I
Because
don't
they're
know.
always stealing food at the docks whenever you're down at the docks.
It's because that the dog didn't give him enough lollipops out when they were done with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Anyway, the bat waits for night. Oh my.
And it's
Okay.
ultrasonic, so only you could hear it anyways, so go for it.
Well, this goes. That's how the bat went.
Okay.
Okay. And those are our 3 Here Bear roars for this week.
All right. So, Taebyn.
Hi.
It's a very Taebyn. We're front loading
Oh.
Taebyn here, clearly.
Taebyn, front heavy episode.
Front heavy episode.
I'm so sorry. It is. I didn't mean this to happen, but here it is.
Oh, it's just the way the things worked out. So
It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
that's right.
sweetie. I don't know. That's
How many
So
do we have any formations this week?
we do.
I'm so excited.
Yay! So, all you furs that might or might not know, each week I read some formations from a particular formation book. One week I had corgis, one week I had other things, and I'm in the middle of, actually not even quite the middle of the book that Rayne got for me, The Trashy Raccoon's Guide to an Amazing Life. A journal full of affirmations, inspiration, and ways to live life to the fullest. I got a little country there. To the fullest. To the fullest. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know.
I don't know. So this week we're starting the intellectual wellness affirmations. And there are 15 of them. So this week I'll do the first half. So I'll do the first 1 through 7.5.
Okay.
So I am an intelligent human. Well, that's not even true because
No.
I'm not even human.
Right, and this
I don't
book
think
was
this-
written by a raccoon, so it should be I'm an intelligent raccoon.
Raccoon. What are you thinking, Mr. Raccoon? Or
I don't
Mrs. Or I
know.
don't even know if you know what you are. I enjoy learning new information.
Ah, woo.
Mhm. I soak up new information like a sponge.
Ah, woo.
That would be good to aspire to. I wouldn't say I do, but that would be good to aspire to.
Mhm.
I seek new experiences.
Okay.
Ah, woo.
Ah, woo.
I love solving puzzles.
you?
I do too. Yes.
And for some reason,
For
as
some
soon as
reason, Pup does too.
Yeah.
it's true. And for whatever reason, when I read that, all I heard was, the cow says. I love solving. I don't know. Learning comes easily to me.
Oh.
And 7.5, I can easily consonant. And so we'll finish that
Okay.
next time.
Well, thank you for those wonderful formations that centered me. My Zen is wonderful. My Chi is in line, and my Chai is in my cup. So
Yes.
It is.
let's remember you can do Tai Chi while drinking chai tea.
woo.
Woo.
Bark.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Okay. Now I know you've been gone for a while, Taebyn, but does anybody have anything for the past today? Anything that needs to be discussed?
Last time.
Last time on BFFT.
Last time.
BFFT.
Where the cow goes moo and the pup goes bark.
Who?
I told the bicycle pun.
They do.
Yes, you did
It's
tell a
true.
bicycle pun. Mhm.
Why can't a bicycle stand on its own? Because
It's
it's
too
too
tired.
Too
tired.
tired.
Now, so I asked my honey, just like the other day, I asked him, why can't a bicycle stand on its own? And he answered it right away correctly. I was so proud. Because you probably remember, my honey doesn't remember puns or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
And I was so proud. Anyway.
But your honey is very smart, so this is one that if you're kind of thinking,
it reminded me of, Barely, you once said that your honey
Mhm.
went to the doctor and did the dentist and did the 230
Mhm.
pun
Yes.
to them, and you were so proud because, like, again, your honey doesn't remember anything
Yeah,
or even
no.
like them.
Yes. All right. We have been putting off the Muppet Mad Libs. So let's do some Muppet Mad Libs. And I think the best way to do this is we'll invite Cheetaro and TickTock in. And Taebyn, when you will just rotate through, filling in the words.
Okay.
And if any fur has any furry type Mad Libs that they would like to send our way, like a contact where I can find them, I've been searching forever, please let me know in the chat or in the emails.
First, Barely, I need a part of the body, plural.
Fingers.
And Rayne, I need an adjective.
Superfluous.
Cheetaro, I need a type of food, plural.
Bananas.
Okay. And TickTock, an article of clothing, plural.
Short shorts.
Barely, I would love an adjective, please.
Breezy.
I need another adjective from Rayne.
Beautiful.
Cheetaro, could you give me an adjective?
Purry.
TickTock, could you please give me a place?
Paris in the spring.
Barely, could I please have an animal?
A wallaby.
Rayne, could I get an adjective? Wow, this is adjective.
I keep getting adjectives.
Buzzy.
And guess what, Cheetaro? I could use an adjective.
Tawny.
TickTock, another adjective, of course.
Floofy.
So this is Fozzie Bear's comedy show.
Oh, get the hook.
Fozzie says, hiya, hiya, hiya. It's me, Fozzie Bear. I just flew in from the coast, and boy, are my fingers tired. Funny. But seriously, it's great to be here. The life of a comedian can be superfluous, but you fans are what keep me going. Without the tomatoes and bananas thrown at me during my act, I'd be starving. Waka waka. Now hold on to your short shorts. Because I'm going to tell you the world's funniest joke. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You're going to love this breezy joke. I envy you. I wish I could hear this joke for the first time. It's that funny. I just hope I have time to tell it before the beautiful manager of this furry club gives me the hook. Okay, here it goes. Did you hear the one about the kangaroo who walks into the Paris in the spring wallaby? Wait. Whoa. What? I need to... What? Okay, let me try rereading this. Did you hear about the kangaroo who walks into the Paris in the spring? Question mark? Okay, I got it. Wallaby comes up to the kangaroo and says, "Hey, I heard that your Buzzy baby is so lazy, they call him a pouch potato. Ah, waka waka.
Okay.
Uh-oh, better go. Here comes the tawny manager with a hook, and the audience is throwing tomatoes. Mmm, they're juicy and floofy.
Ooh, floofy tomatoes are gross.
Oh my cow. Well, that
Wow.
was that. That
Well,
was that.
all those words were very
Fozzie had a-
apropos.
Yes.
Mhm.
I
Man,
think so.
Fozzie had
And
a rough
adjective
night.
heavy.
Poor Frozzie always has a rough night. At least he didn't
Yes,
have
he does.
Statler and Waldorf teasing
Oh,
him at
thank
this one.
goodness, yes.
God, the fact that I remembered their names and I just pulled that out of a
Oh,
hat
Stat-
is amazing.
Well, you do
Statler
remember,
and Waldorf
Wow.
are the best part of the Muppet
but
Show.
you do remember Statler and Waldorf were named after hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that. I knew the Waldorf was a hotel, but I didn't realize.
Yep.
Because of the salad.
Well, yes. Because of the salad. Yes. That's how I knew it was a hotel.
Because of the salad. Because barely, he judges a hotel by the quality of its salad.
Kinda.
I mean, a Waldorf salad is terrible. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a whole history behind it, but it's apples, mayonnaise, celery,
Celery,
Yes.
grapes.
walnuts,
grapes,
Yeah.
yes.
and
Walnuts.
and grapes.
Yep.
And if you don't have
Raisins.
grapes, you can use raisins. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
raisins.
What is a Waldorf anyway? A walnut that's gone off?
Yes.
Yes.
The Wald. It's been Waldorf.
Yes.
Oh, world. Anyway, let's get to our media section. All right, I've been watching Game of Thrones to keep up with another podcast. I watched some of the original series of Star Trek only because it's just hilarious to watch. It's
funny, but it's so much fun to watch.
It's so much fun to watch.
Yes.
Everybody knows that I'm a big Rick and Morty fan, and Taebyn will attest the fact that sometimes at cons that's just playing on the TV nonstop. And
This is a true thing.
they released some episodes of Rick and Morty anime, and in true anime form, they do about 2 minutes of an opening segment that is just totally off the wall, and then a 4-minute opening song credits of.
Oh, nice.
4 minutes?
Oh God! It's when you think it's over, it just keeps going.
It's just getting started.
And I'm like,
I
wow.
kind of want to watch this just like to see it
Yeah.
and then never have to worry about it again.
And then you know how in animes when characters are confused, like ooh, huh, huh, huh,
oh yeah.
huh?
Oh.
And it's usually a minor character that's always confused and kind of bleh.
Yeah.
So they made Morty that way, and
He's a minor character.
I swear,
even though his name is in this title.
For the first, I don't know, 3 times he's on screen, that's his entire lines. It's just
I want to watch that just for the
it's on HBO Max, so
okay.
It's there. I think they've got 3 or 4 episodes released already, but I was just like,
Nice.
ooh, okay. My husband tried to watch it with me last night. He's like, I don't know what I'm watching, and I don't want to watch it anymore. So, he says, if this was my first exposure to Rick and Morty, I would never watch Rick and Morty again.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anime is not for everyone.
No. I tried to watch the second half of Dune, the new movie that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I fell asleep. I don't fall asleep in movies.
The first half was actually really exciting. I liked the first half.
God, it was so boring. The
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it. It was boring. It was just so boring. And
yeah, I never would. Well, we talked about this on the show at one point too when I watched Dune, and
I'm a Dune fan, so to me it's fun.
I'm a big Dune fan too, but it's just like, wow, it's just so boring.
Yeah.
Is it?
There was no Pug in this one. That's what bugged me the most.
No Pug, yeah.
Yeah, and no Patrick Stewart.
Well,
holding said Pug.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Taebyn, what were you going to say?
I was just wondering because what was the last episode or episode before last? I was talking about what show was it that just so long and boring, and it's because it was supposed to be like 2 movies, but they had to split it into 6, and so.
Oh, are you talking about Rebel Moon?
Rebel Moon, yeah.
It's not Star Wars. It's their
Star
They're
Wars ripoff.
off-brand Star
Yeah.
Wars. Walmart Star Wars.
They're
It's great
Walmart
value
stores.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Great value Star Wars, exactly.
You find it like to the left of the toy section,
Mhm.
Right.
way back
Yeah.
there. So was this Dune kind of like that, where it just goes on and like for no reason or something?
Yeah, I mean, it did a lot of world building or more
Oh, okay.
world building, and it's just. Plus, I'm not a big fan of the way they're treating Paul Atreides, and I mean, I know they're way more true to the book, but
Yeah. They were pretty rough on him in the books.
yeah, I mean, he's literally setting himself up to be a dictator, and which is not what the original movie and series had. They had him as the hero, not a dictator. So,
Yeah, well,
a liberator.
that was because it played better with
Crowds of those age. Yeah.
crowds at those age. Yeah,
And the fact that the same company is going to be making Children of Dune, so they really had to set him up as being the dictator, because
Right.
otherwise that storyline makes no sense.
true.
If he's not a dictator.
Although
Yeah.
anything past Dune, the original book Dune,
Mhm.
I don't like. I'm a fan of Dune, but only the book Dune.
Okay.
That's it. The rest of it, I could care less about, because it's just too far into the weeds.
Awesome. All right.
Agreed.
Well, and then I've been
I
watching.
like how Beverly was like, awesome.
Yeah, awesome. I've been watching some mindless Food Network shows, and that is about it. Taebyn, how about you?
Not too much, of course, because I've been gone in Colorado for quite a while. So, but South Park for Lunchies. Yeah, I mentioned last time we'd started season 7 of Young Sheldon, and we have 4 episodes left, and it's so sad because it's the last season. Oh no!
It's a very
I
sad
cried.
last
Yeah.
season. Although I do like the way they wrapped up the season, the series. You'll be very pleased
Yeah.
with the way they wrap it up.
Good. I'm happy. I mean, I'm still, as I say, that we still got 4 episodes left, but so far it's still like a really great show, a really amazing show. It's good to know that I'm going to, because it could go either way. Like, well, are they going to make this flop and just like kill everyone off and make everyone sad or something? But no, of course they can't kill everyone off because, well, there's Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, right.
Sheldon appears later in Big Bang Theory, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of anyway. So that's good to know that. But it's such a great show, and of course I noticed, and so Barely you've probably also noticed in the intro in this season. You know how in the past in all the other seasons the cow comes up and they like take a few steps away.
Mhm.
In this season, they stand there and Georgie just kind of shoos the cow away, and
Yeah.
I thought it was cute and funny.
Mhm.
I read a little bit more in Kyle Gold's Green Fairy. Maybe I'll finish it someday. It's a really good book, but I just, there's just no time. You all know how that is. Been playing Monkeys Go Pop, of course, Royal Match, and Beat Saber a little bit. So a long time, and also, a long time ago, you probably don't remember me talking about a game called Infinitoad 2.
No,
I do not remember
don't
that,
at
yes.
all. No.
This was a long time ago.
Okay.
And it's a tower defense game, and I was really into it for a little bit, and then I kind of got out. I think I got into Bloons instead, and so I've been doing that for the last few years. Well, just recently, like within the last month, Infinitoad 2 came out with a big new year-long awaited update.
Wow.
So I started, and so like everything's reset, and it's this big update, and so I've been doing that actually a lot more than Bloons, but that's a lot of fun. And so that's my media-ing for the last few weeks.
Awesome. Possum. All right. Rayne, how about you?
Well, for me, I've been watching tons of training videos for work because I got to get my certifications
Still
in
liking the
all the
workies?
mobility products. Oh, I love the work. I come home like completely wasted at the end of a day. I am just so tired. Like today, yesterday and today, I spent pretty much the entire day in the footwell of the driver's side of a Toyota Highlander. So, I mean, it's good because I own a Toyota Highlander, and now I know where everything is under the dash. I know how to take the knee airbag out and how to shunt the safety systems so that it thinks that there's still a knee airbag in. But I don't know when it'll ever come in handy on my car, but you never know.
But now you know. Now you
Yeah.
know.
But
Very
yeah,
nice.
that's it. I've been playing a few games in VR. I've been playing some Overwatch, Overwatch 2 actually, because of course Overwatch 1 is no longer there. But yeah, I've been playing some Overwatch 2, when I have a few spare moments, because just to wind down, because I'm mad at lawyers.
Okay.
So
Nice. All right.
we decided to hire immigration lawyers for Ziggy's
Gotcha.
immigration,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of them
That's-
lied to us and told us, "Oh yeah, you can just get married and when he comes over next time to visit." And that turns out, yeah, that's not a good
That's not a good
advice
plan.
from a
No,
lawyer.
no.
Just like,
No,
oh, okay,
no.
he's here now. We get married. Okay. Oh, wait, that's
Right.
not legal?
No,
What?
not
No,
legal.
that's not
So
good.
we're still going through the K1 process. I'm narrowing down the lawyers because we realized we cannot fill this out. We spent 8 hours trying to fill this I-129 form out and just
I
don't have it.
believe that, actually.
Yes. We keep finding more and more stuff that we didn't know that we needed to do, and we're just like, let's hire a lawyer. I would rather spend the money than
Yeah.
sort through government forms for hours and hours.
And this way, you don't, like, you have a better chance of actually getting it right, too. So
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we're hoping like 6 months or so.
Nice. TikTok, what have you been watching, consuming, playing?
Let's see. I'm mainly looking forward to the second season of The Rings of Power, which is the prequel to The Lord of the Rings.
Rings of Power!
Nice.
Power, yes.
Nice.
That starts tonight, in fact.
Oh, well, there you go. So as soon as you're done here, you're going to
Well-
watch it, aren't you? Do.
We'll get some dinner first.
We'll
yeah.
be looking forward to you telling us how it's progressing. I haven't watched any of it, so you can let us know.
Oh, we'll do.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Not-
All right.
Wow, you
Say.
compare. I don't know what
Efficient.
that says compared to me, Barely, and Rayne. You're, I don't know, laying down on the job. I don't know.
Cheetaro, what have you been watching?
Well, I have been watching all sorts of things, but mostly I've been playing video games. So talking about that, I just finished playing Far Cry 6, a very interesting,
Oh, wow.
very interesting thing. It's kind of like mirroring Cuba and a dictator, and you have to overthrow the dictator. It's like really kind of fun.
Yeah.
But there's
Overthrow
lots.
that dictator.
But there's lots of killing and things of that nature. So if you're not into that,
And that's fun too.
Oh, the Far Cry games are so much fun.
yeah, I like sneaking up behind
Just
people.
a lot of work.
I like sneaking up behind people and taking my machete and like slicing their throat.
Because you're a cheetah.
That's right.
Yeah.
What can I say?
He does that at cons too. He sneaks up behind people and takes his machete and
And just
Yeah.
hacks
stuff.
them to pieces at a con. Yes.
Yes.
Anyway.
Beware at your next con. I might be
there's a
behind
reason
you.
there's not as many cons as there used to be.
Right.
All right. So
Cuts down on red lines.
before we get to furry news, this kind of fell into my lap this afternoon. I thought I would just mention it. It's really not odd. It's really not news of the weird, but there's a whole culture behind hobby horsing. Do
Really?
you know what hobby horsing is?
I
Yeah,
was
they're the
actually
little-
just going to
shooting
ask you,
back and
what is
forth.
hobby horse?
The little horses that kids ride back and forth, little hobby horses.
No,
Rocking
it's
back and forth.
the horse head on a stick.
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
I'm thinking of rocking horse, but yeah, hobby horses. Yeah, my sister had one when I was a little kid.
Yes.
Yeah, those are like, you see those in like old 40s and 50s films or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can still get them. I mean, you go to any toy
Yeah.
shop and they'll have a barrel full of them.
Okay.
And there is
Yeah.
a whole community of hobby horsers. And
Wow.
I'm going to say
Interesting.
that they're furry adjacent because they have competitions and they have conventions, but they all ride their
Oh.
little hobby horse around and they don't walk, they prance around
Oh my
everywhere.
goodness.
and
That's adorable.
and they have
It kinda is.
competitions where they prance around the oval and jump over things like a horse would do. And they
I am
do
going to watch videos
Mm,
tonight.
and
That
they
is
do
cute.
dressage, the whole thing. So
Oh my goodness.
Are the links you have here in the notes, are those what I have to go see?
that'll give you a couple of links. If you go to the Wikipedia
Okay.
page, you will definitely get all
Now
the
I'm
links to all
thinking
their
of
stuff
fursuit games.
with
We
hobby
should
horses.
we should buy hobby
Hobby
horses and
horses.
make furries ride them.
There
through
you
some
go. Get
Yes.
out the float fursuit games. We're
Yes.
gonna have hobby
Yes.
horse riding.
I should write that down since I'm doing the first. Yeah. Oh,
You
I gotta write
should.
that down now because I'm doing the fursuit games. All you furs that get out the float. So this might be a game that we'll be doing at Get Out the Float.
Awesome. All right.
Yay.
Okay, so that takes us up to furry news. Furry news. And our intrepid news correspondent is here with a story or several stories. So TickTock, take it away.
So, welcome to Furry News. So, Fur Affinity had some more woes. They had a attack on August 20th. It was on the Twitter account was compromised, and also the website was subject to a domain services hack. However, they did had everything up and running again on August 22nd. And Fender of Fur Affinity says it is important to stress that the Fur Affinity web server itself was never compromised, and the bad actor never had access to any private information such as our user and server data.
Good.
However, you may find your login to be invalidated and you'll have to re-enter your credentials if you've been holding out from logging in again. Next story, we have Telegram founder Pavel Duov was arrested in France on August 24th on a warrant that Telegram is being used for drug trafficking, child exploitation, money laundering, and other crimes. His troubles continue as he also now faces an inquest into suspected acts of violence against his own child. And this is a developing story. Now, as a furry, like many others, we, use Telegram, as our main messaging platform. Any thoughts on it if we have to move to somewhere else?
I'm hoping that it actually doesn't cause the downfall of Telegram, that they just kick him off the board and be done with it. Because really, his bad actions don't reflect the entire Telegram community. And there are some bad parts of Telegram, just like there's any bad parts of any chat service or website on the network.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a pirate fur, instead of kicking him off the board, they would kick him off the plank.
Right.
Walk the plank.
That was a horrible. I had to.
You would have to walk it. Yes.
Resist.
I would imagine that most furries would just migrate over to Discord because they're almost
there's a lot
identical.
of furries on Discord too.
They're almost identical in their layouts now. When you
are they?
Oh yeah, when you make a Telegram channel instead of a chat, it's basically laid out the same as Discord.
Oh
yeah.
So that's a good point. Yeah. The other thing is that Rayne,
Discord is already there and established and everything.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everyone knows how to use it, so they're not going to go do it. What are we going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
It's right there.
Yep,
right.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And also, Rayne does bring up a good point. So there are bad places in Telegram like there is anywhere else. It's pretty easy to not find those bad places if you don't go looking on Telegram. You're pretty insular.
Yeah, if you don't go looking, and if you block those bad sources, it's really easy to stay away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. Yep. I'm sure you've gotten the sugar baby messages. Yes, no.
Oh yeah.
Oh my cow!
It's so easy
I still
to
don't
block.
understand what that is.
Yep.
What? Don't even get me started on that. But okay. And you mentioned about blocking. So you could just block the Taebyn fan club chat that exists.
Yes, you could.
And then you don't have to worry about that bad horribleness.
Already done.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Done. Yes, actually, just blocked it just now. Okay, so
good. You are safe.
I'm safe. I feel so much better now. So on a more fun note, Clark Macbeth, also known as Metro Mutt, has been running for election in Maple Grove City Council, which is a town in Minnesota.
Oh,
he
nice.
says that
nice.
He says he's the most qualified candidate for city council, as the Minneapolis suburb that is Maple Grove could have a furry on its city council because our local politics have done too little for too long, just like Maple Grove Transit.
Hey,
and that would definitely
furries get stuff done.
That would definitely be adding diversity to the mix. Furry is like a total different. That's a diverse thing right there.
Yes.
But we get stuff done. If it wasn't for us, the internet would fall to pieces.
Yes.
There is that.
And let's see. He's campaigning on promoting access to comprehensive healthcare services, protecting women's reproductive rights, fostering economic equality, addressing climate change concerns, enhancing educational resources, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So he actually knows something about what's going on in the world. That's a definite leg up for him right there.
Yes. Everyone in Minnesota, vote for this fur.
Yes, vote.
Yes,
vote.
Definitely.
Get out the vote. And let's see, lastly, on another fun note, Portland area billboards were hacked by furries. So the digital displays.
I saw that. Oh, yeah.
Yes, the lottery billboards, the digital displays on them were replaced by an image of hugging cats between August 12th and 14th. This image has been
Yes.
attributed to the furry artist who goes by Schork. It's SH-4RK, so I'm guessing it's Schork. However, who is actually thrilled to see their art promoted on these billboards. However, I would say that it's not known whether there were furries that actually did the hacking. So, if someone
Ah.
comes to, if someone gets rounded up, we'll know. But as of now, I couldn't find any information on the hackers themselves.
And just as a note for somebody who used to do electronic signage for the city of San Antonio, hacking electronic signs is illegal. And if you get caught, there are sufficiently very, very bad fines for doing it.
Right.
Unless the hack is of kitties hugging. That's okay. Everything else is not.
Yeah,
So.
sure.
Everybody
We'll
wants
just
to
tell
see-
Taebyn said it was okay.
Everybody wants to see cats hugging.
Yes.
Yeah, who doesn't? I mean, this is so cute.
Yes.
Duh.
And TickTock, any news on the furry hacker group that is now officially disbanded, according to the founder?
I actually did go looking, but I haven't heard of anything. I suspect they'll just be kind of like lying in the weeds for a little bit, as they say.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll be back around. So we'll see what hijinks they have up their sleeves.
These hacker groups usually lay low when the heat is on.
Yeah,
They don't. They
the
don't go
heat
away.
is on.
Yeah.
On the street.
On the street.
Dang it! Now that's in my head. Thanks.
Thank you, TickTock.
Thank you, TickTock,
Yeah,
for that
thank
wonderful
you.
news report. And now,
Hey, Cheetaro.
Hey, Rayne, how are you?
This is the first time we're not having to record this separate from everybody else.
I know, I feel special.
I hear you got a movie review for us.
I do. It's actually a very cute movie. It's streaming on Hulu
Yay.
right now, named Ozzy, O-Z-Z-Y. Has nothing to do with Ozzy Osbourne, just in case anybody was curious.
Oh, I was like thinking there was going to be a drunk, drugged up character. Sharon!
Although there are some interesting characters in this movie, especially a Chihuahua. But I get in front of myself. It's from 2016. It's kind of a cute movie. It starts on the premise of this family who has this dog, and this dog is living a wonderful life. And this family ends up getting sent on a trip to Japan, and they find out, yay, we're going to Japan. We're taking the dog with us. Oh, we can't take the dog with us because of quarantines,
Aww.
So no trip for the dog. And so they go, oh, well, what are we supposed to do? Well, then they find out about this dog spa, and they go take the dog there. It's like, oh, it's beautiful. Okay, let's send him here. And it turns out that this dog spa is a sham. It's really a dog prison. And all these dogs go into prison. And it's an amazing movie because you're sitting there watching it, and there's probably a lot of furs out there that have no idea what this movie is, but I know everybody in this podcast will, at least. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
It is very...
We're all old furs. Gray muzzles, as it were.
Right? Well, it's kind of interesting because I'm sitting there watching this movie. It's like, God, this has Shawshank Redemption vibes all over it. and it's true because they try to escape and out of the prison, and there's all sorts of fun chaos things. But I think the movie overall is very fun. It's a happy movie. There's a lot of hilarious moments. There's this one dachshund that has horrible eyesight, and his owner was a blind person, and he was a seeing eye dog for this blind person.
No.
And so he's constantly running into things and things like that, but it's overall, the movie is excellent. It has a lot of different prison movie vibes to it while you're sitting there watching it. And it's like, you're sitting there going, oh my God, I've seen that before. All it needed was Samuel Jackson in there saying something like, I'm not sure what, but we'll leave it to the furs' imaginations. But it was an awesome movie. I am going to say that there were a couple of strange things that happened in the movie. A little misdirections here and a little misdirections there, but overall, it was a pretty good movie. I give it a 3.5 chirp rating because it's pretty. It's a pretty fun movie. Although I will say, my partner said to me, he said the drawings in this, the animation was kind of choppy, and I don't think it was that choppy, but he thought it was choppy just because it's not that perfect Disney art or whatever. So
it's more Hanna-Barbera-ish, two-step animation, probably stuff. Yeah,
but I still think it was a pretty good movie overall. So if you want,
there's nothing wrong with Hanna-Barbera two-step animation.
So if you want a movie that sort of has a Shawshank Redemption vibe, but it has everything to do with dogs, Taebyn, this is up your alley. You should watch it because it's really an awesome movie.
It sounds good.
Nice.
Sounds good. I don't know if I should watch Shawshank Redemption before or after that. I actually haven't seen Shawshank
at the same
Redemption.
time. Do it at the same time.
There you go.
You are a multi-purpose dog. You can do two things at once.
Apparently, I'm going to try.
Cool. Thanks, Cheetaro. What do you have for us next week or next 2 weeks?
Well, since this was a dog movie, I have to do something to be the opposite of that. So the next movie is also on Hulu, and as ironic as it's going to be called, the movie is called Cats. And no, it does nothing to do with the musical, just so you know.
Okay. Oh. Good.
I remember that controversy. Yes. Does it have anything to do with that? Yeah, no, that'll be good to hear about that.
And I will say that there are no buttholes in this movie.
Okay, good.
You should do a review of Cats versus Dog. I'd love to hear what you think of that one. That's a classic movie.
I have seen the dog.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Hey, Barely, do we got any pup coming events?
We do have some pup coming events. We're going to start off with Furstein in Zemech, Sindentrosh in the Czech Republic. I don't know what that accent that is.
I think you did a great job pronouncing it.
That sounds
I have no idea.
I thought you were Czechoslovakian for a moment.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was, that's coming up September 5th through the 8th. Also, the September 5th through the 8th is Northern Michigan Fur Camp in Lake Michigan Recreation Area in Free Soil, Michigan, where you get free dirt.
Yay.
Furry Migration is taking place September 6th through the 8th at the Hyatt Regency, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Forgive is taking place September 14th in Hanoi, Vietnam. So if you're in Vietnam on the 14th of September and you want to go to a furry convention, go there.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
I hadn't heard of this Forgive, and yeah, that's cute. But I noticed it's in Complex 1.
Yes.
In Vietnam.
Complex 1.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a great name.
Yeah,
not a great name.
Not the best. Not the best, but okay.
Brings to mind some certain kind of camps that we don't want to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. Okay.
Eurofurence 2024 is taking place September 18th through the 21st at the Congress Center in Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburgers,
which did not originate in Hamburg, Germany, by the way.
No, but I still can't help but think of hamburgers when I hear of hamburger.
Yes, or the Burgermeister Burger. Okay, West Aussie Fur Frenzy. It's a frenzy, I tell you. 2024 is taking place September 20th through the 22nd at the Esplanade Hotel Fremantle by Ridges in Fremantle, West Australia. In Australia. Just in case you were confused what country that was in. We then
R&R.
Then we have R&R. Then we have Rügen FurCon 2024, September 26th through the 29th in Kurhaus Binz, Germany. And right after that, or on the same weekend, is another furry convention, September 27th through the 29th in Ontario Convention Center in Ontario, California. And Taebyn, do you have something you want to say about this?
I do. That's very amazing that you read my mind like that. I was looking about another FurCon and stuff, just curious about what it's about and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the organization that it's under is Furry Universal Representation for Education, Arts, and Literature, or For Real
For real. Nice.
Which is awesome. And of course, I can't help but think, how long did it take them to come up with that? Oh my cow!
Right?
And it
Yeah.
it reminds me of Denfur's organization, which is Anthropomorphic Events Incorporated Organization United, AEIOU.
Mhm.
It's like the organizations these days are working hard to make their name, make sure
Represent
that the acronym is
Something
those
fun,
anagrams.
awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, that's all I had to say about that.
The Furry Takeover is also taking place September 27th to the 29th at the Fontana Village Resort and Marina in Fontana Dam, North Carolina. And
Damn.
that's the upcoming events for the month of September. All right, Taebyn, we're getting a little long in the episode, but we're going to have some math because I saw also in the chat that you were asking for math problems to highlight on the show.
Oh, yes. And I gave him a really hard one to do.
I want to talk about the Birch and Swinnerton Dyer conjecture. Now,
Okay.
as barely already mentioned, I had asked if there were any big conjectures or theorems in math that anyford would want to just hear me simplify or explain. You know, maybe you've heard something about this big theorem or something like, what does it really mean? Stuff. So as Rayne mentioned, Rayne asked for the Birch and Swinnerton Dyer conjecture, and this was and is a challenge. So I said, challenge accepted. And side note, I feel that he just like Googled Millennium Problems and took the first item.
No, I did not. I just Googled interesting math problems.
It is, and actually, I do have to.
And it was the most interesting of the ones that I saw because it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'd like to hear Taebyn explain this to me.
Well, there you go. And I'm actually, thank you for doing this because I actually had fun researching and looking into this stuff. And there's actually some really cool math that you can really get into. Some of the real cool stuff I won't, and fun stuff I actually won't talk about today because it takes too long to talk about. So let me see. I'll try and keep this succinct-ish. So before I say what the conjecture actually is, here is a little bit of history. So the Birch and Swinnerton Dyer conjecture is one of the Millennium Problems. So the Millennium Problems, which a long time ago, we've talked about this on the show, probably season 1 or something. The Millennium Problems are 7 complicated math problems selected by the Clay Mathematics Institute in 2000. And by the way, one of this has, in the 1980s, has actually been solved. So there's only 6 open problems. And for any further that wants to know, the Poincaré conjecture is the one that was taken care of. The Clay Institute has pledged to give $1 million for the first correct solution to one of the problems. And by the way, it's not just like mathematicians look at it for a few days and say, yeah, it's good or bad. It takes literally years of scrutiny by the mathematics community to decide if a solution is correct or not. This is a big thing. So history-wise, in the early 1960s in England, mathematicians Brian Birch and Peter Swinnerton Dyer used the EDSAC computer at Cambridge. So this is 1960s. So this is like an old
Vacuum
move
tube
around on the
computer.
floor computers. Yep. Yes, exactly. Used one of those computers to investigate solutions to certain types of equations. Based on their results, they made the famous Birch and Swinnerton Dyer conjecture. And since that's hard to say, I will now call it the BSD conjecture.
Hey.
So the BSD, and they'll probably save like a half hour of recording time to say BSD instead. So the BSD conjecture is recognized actually as one of the most challenging mathematical problems. So Rayne, not only did you pick something that's interesting, you also pick something that is an extremely difficult.
Well, like I said, of all the ones I read, and I read through quite a few of them before I picked that one, it was the most interesting looking of all of them.
It is really interesting. As I said, there's some really cool stuff mathematically involved here. And I think I can do this. So I just, two disclaimers. One is, don't go to sleep. I'm going to try and make this I'm going to try and make this interesting so that you will pay attention to a little bit at least. And my second disclaimer is I will probably say some things that have a lot of details packed down, but hopefully they're things that intuitively you can think, oh, yes, that is a reasonable statement.
This is an aerial view of the problem.
Very, very, yeah. This is
Yes.
there is a lot going on, and by my build up to this and talking about it, of course, all you first can understand there's a lot going on here, but I think I can convey the main idea. So I'm not going to tell you what the conjecture is now. I need to build it up and tell you some things first. So let's start with the statement: integers are nice. So
They are.
you know. They are. Okay,
69.
there we go. See, I talked about the whole intuition and reasoning that, oh, yeah, this is a reasonable statement to make. That's a reasonable statement to make. There's a lot of details and a lot of reasons why integers are nice, but okay, we know integers are nice. Now, if you had an equation in which the solutions were only integers, and I think we know what we mean by a solution to an equation, right?
Yes.
It's something that you plug in.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're doing good so far. This is good. If we had an equation in which the solutions were only integers, we'd be pretty happy. It's like, wow, that's
Mhm.
nice, right? I
Mhm.
mean,
Right.
that's a reasonable statement. Okay. We're doing good. This makes me so happy. Okay. I've talked about before rational and irrational numbers. So any for that wants to hear me talk about rational and irrational numbers and transcendental numbers, you can do so in season 2, episode 7. But rational numbers, you might remember, are just fractions, right? That's just the math way to say fractions, rational numbers. So I'll be saying the words rational number a lot here. Now, rational numbers, fractions, are actually nicer. If you look at all of them together, they form something called a mathematical field. Now, I'm not going to talk about fields or anything like that because this is a whole branch of math that talks about this. The point is that the set of all these things, these fractions, they have really nice properties, even better properties than integers have. So if you can do things with rational numbers instead of integers, that's actually really, really good. And it actually turns out that because of properties of multiplication and division, or because of multiplication and division, having rational numbers is actually, as a solution to an equation, is actually as good as having an integer. So we really like rational solutions to equations. How are we doing? Is this statement good? We like rational solutions to equations.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is going great. Okay, now I want to talk about things called elliptic curves. Elliptic curves are just certain curves in the xy plane. I think we're all good with what the xy plane is.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. These are curves in the xy plane that have certain general form, general equations. It's a general form of a certain type of curve, and they have many special properties. Kind of a sub-example is a parabola is just a curve in the xy plane that has certain properties. Well, an elliptic curve, it's not a parabola at all, but analogously, an elliptic curve is just a curve of a certain form that has really nice properties. Now, elliptic curves help to solve certain types of important equations. These are things in math called Diophantine equations. These are important in math and they have applications and everything. So elliptic curves are important for that. They take part in factoring algorithms, which is in terms of encoding and decoding things like that. That's important. Elliptic curves are essential in the proofs of Fermat's last theorem, which I've talked about before on the show. I think season 1 somewhere. Very, very cool stuff. So there's lots of applications. A rational solution to an equation is just a pair of fractions, x and y. So you've got an equation that has x's and y's in it. A rational solution to this equation is just a pair of fractions so that you throw them in and it satisfies this equation. How's that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Now, graphically, what does it mean to be a solution then? Okay, so you've got this graph of something. Just pick, it doesn't matter what graph you mentioned. You've got this graph, this curve or something. Graphically, to be a solution of the equation means that you are a point on the associated curve or associated graph.
That tracks.
So it's very helpful to think of solutions to equations as points on a graph or on a curve. Yes?
Yes.
Good. Okay. I talked about elliptic curves. They're just graphs of things that are special. Rational solutions to elliptic curves. So that is, we've got fractions that you plug in and they're really just points on the graph. These things actually come up in cryptography. I can't even say that, in cryptography, which
Cryptography,
is
yes.
really important, of course. So there are real world important reasons to care about rational solutions to elliptic curves. How is
Yeah.
that sentence?
Okay.
Is that a good
That
sentence?
makes sense.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that
sure.
makes sense. Which is again why I picked this
I'd buy
topic,
that for
because I
$1.
thought,
You'd buy
as I
that
saw
okay.
I saw the the importance of this in cryptography.
Okay, yeah, good.
Yeah.
So this all says that if we have a theorem about rational solutions to elliptic curves, that is, if we had a theorem about points on these special curves,
Hmm.
then we would know more about them and we can solve
Right.
more real world problems. So this would be a really useful thing. Anytime you have a theorem about something, it is always great.
Right.
Okay.
Especially if it's useful.
Especially if it's useful.
Yes.
Okay, we're actually getting to the BSD conjecture. Now, you can look at the collection of all rational solutions to a given elliptic curve. So that is, again, let me remind you, we have this elliptic curve. We just have this curve floating around there in the XY plane, and we're looking at all the rational solutions. That is, we're looking at all the points on the curve in which the X and Y values are fractions.
Right.
Okay. So you can look at all those particular fraction points. It turns out that given any curve, you might not actually go through any fractions. You could go through finitely many of them, or you could go through infinitely many of them. You have all these possibilities. It is known, it has been proven that for elliptic curves, the collection of all such points is quote unquote generated by a finite set of points. Okay, generated. What do I mean by that? Someone asked me, Taebyn, what do you mean by generated?
What do you mean by that, Taebyn?
Thank you. So, generated is a very important concept in every branch of math. Generated here just means that any point in the collection can be written in terms of whatever the generating points are,
Right.
even if the collection is infinite. For example, take the integers. So I'm going to just digress from the whole elliptic curve conjecture thing for a second, just to make sure we understand this idea of generated. So take the integers. You really only need the number 1, right? I mean, if you have the number 1, you can get any other number just by adding 1 over and over a certain number of times, right?
Exactly.
So literally in math, we say that the integers are generated by the number 1. There's only one generator.
Makes sense.
Gotcha.
It does. And so then just like pop quiz, how many things do you think you would need to generate all the integer points in the XY plane?
1.
Add 1 to that.
2.
11.
2.
2.
Exactly 2. Because if you think of all the integer points in the XY plane, all you need is the 1 in the x-axis and the 1 in the y-axis. And then you just add to those and you can get any other point in the XY plane.
Yeah.
Integer point.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is great that makes sense because, side note, you now have learned literally learned the foundational ideas to the branch of math called linear algebra, which is typically taught at an upper division level in universities. So you understand that now.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Woo.
back
Degrees
to...
will be mailed tomorrow.
Right.
Yes, exactly. I mean, with all the... What have we haven't said the words before for a long time. CEUs. With all the
CEUs, yes.
CEUs we've earned, and with that information there, you definitely have like your PhD or
Oh,
something.
of course.
Yes. We're all doctors now.
Doctors.
We're all doctors now.
of phrenology.
Doctor.
So we are almost there.
Okay.
So it would be great. Let's remember where we are. So we have the elliptic curves. We're looking at rational points. That is points on the graph in which the XY coordinates are both fractions.
Fractions. Yep.
We're talking about having finitely many, infinitely many, you have all these ideas. Now, it would be a really great thing to have a nice algorithm that calculates all of these generating points. Because if you have the generating points, you have all of the points. And as I said before, it's been proven that for any elliptic curve, there are only finitely many. You don't even have to worry about infinity. You've got finitely many of these generating points. So it would be so great to have an algorithm that just computes all these for you, right?
It would be handy.
Mm-hmm.
It would be great because then we could we essentially know everything about the rational solutions to elliptic curves, which means we can solve real world problems in cryptology and all these things. So all we need is this little algorithm, right? To compute
Yeah,
something.
sure.
We've got calculators, we've got
Right,
computers.
sure.
We should be able to do this. But alas, this is such a difficult problem that no algorithm is actually known to do it, or we don't actually know if such an algorithm even exists.
Well, now.
The BSD, the Birch and Swinnerton Dyer conjecture, finally, I'm going to tell you what the conjecture is. The BSD conjecture describes all the generators for elliptic curves. So a proof that this conjecture is true would be amazing and impactful, and you could do lots and lots of things with it. And that's amazing. This is all just another example of how fun, interesting, and exciting math can be, and also an example of one of the many, 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 many unsolved problems in math today.
Yeah.
Well,
so did we get through? Did I explain everything to you? Do you understand?
I understand how much I don't understand about this
math
conjecture.
in general. Yes,
but
there is a lot. There is a lot going on that I'm not
but
telling
I can also,
you.
of course, yes.
I also think you really described it from a good aerial perspective of, what this conjecture is all about.
Good, and that was the point. And
you did a good job.
Thank you. Yay.
You get a treat.
And just a note for all you furs out there that are looking at math, or maybe you're trying to understand a big piece of calculus or linear algebra or probability or whatever. It's best not to delve into the details at first. It's best to try and get an aerial perspective of, okay, what is the overall idea going on here? And then worry about how it works. That's what the details are. It's very important to understand those details about how it works, but you're not going to have a chance to do so until you understand the overall picture of what's going on, what's trying to be said.
Same in electronics. You dive into too deep to initially, you end up just completely lost. But if you get the aerial view of what's going on, then you can kind of follow the trails and figure out where these little details match up.
Terrific. All right. As we are moving along, it is time now for us to give our shameless plugs for other projects that are going on that we're parts of. I want to say right now, I've got several other pods on the network. I've got Off Leash, Royal Highness, and 3Do Who. Give them a listen, and Rayne's going to now talk to you about 3Do Who.
Yes. So 3Do Who is our monthly Doctor Who podcast where we discuss all things Doctor Who. Each episode drops at midnight on the last day of the month. This month's episode is our recap of the 15th Doctor's first season. And we were not particularly kind to the poor Doctor. And, actually, to the writers. We were kind to the Doctor and the actors playing companions. But next month's episode is all about the numerous spoofs and comedy skits from Doctor Who. So tune in on the Injured Nerd Network and see what we got.
Awesome. TickTock, you have any upcoming projects, things you want to plug?
Let's say my ongoing project is now as the Furry News broadcaster. So for any furs in our BFFT Telegram group, feel free to DM me with any Furry News stories. Also, shout out to Ziggy for finding the one about Metro Mutt running for city council.
Mi prometido es muy inteligente.
Oh my cow!
Wow. Okay. All right.
That is amazing.
All right. We're going to have two staffers that speak fluent Espanol before too long.
See?
Okay. Thank you for that. Cheetaro, do you have any projects or anything you want to plug?
Well, besides my movie reviewing here, I'm also my helping out at Get Out the Float. So everybody go register at Get Out the Float because registration is now open, and let's inundate Get Out the Float with at least 50% more people this coming year as we did this last year.
Yes,
and I'm also in charge of Furlandia. As a matter of fact, I have a friend who has also gotten me involved in another furry event that's going to be happening in August of 2025. A furry.
Are you sure that's a friend?
Yeah. Yes, it's going to be a furry music festival.
Oh, nice! I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Where at?
In Hillsborough.
Oh, okay.
In Hillsborough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hillsboro.
Well, we will definitely be looking forward to hearing about more details about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm the ops person for this event, so you'll hear lots of stuff.
All right, Taebyn, that leaves it to you. What are you going to plug?
Well, I guess my normal things. I mean, well, normal meaning the first time I said this the first time last time that I now have a link tree. That's
Yay.
linktr.ee/Taebyn.
And he did it all by himself.
I did it all by myself. I did not need Barely's or Rayne's help this time. I actually did something technological. So you can get links to all my things, my YouTube, my Twitter, my Blue Sky, and my fourth wall that I have, which if you don't want to use my link tree, it's taebyn-shop.fourthwall.com. You can get t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and there's more to come. I have a YouTube, as I mentioned, lots of good stuff. You can learn how to make ice. You can learn more math stuff and actual math stuff that I've had furs come up to me and tell me they've passed their calculus classes because of my videos. So that's good.
Yeah.
But you can also do other things. Like, I don't know, what else can you do with my YouTube channel? You can throw it out the window, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, or
Ignore it, unsubscribe. You can do all sorts of things like that.
Or learn about crispy chicken.
I prefer you don't
tots.
unsubscribe. And yes, we got chicken. We got crispy chicken. You've got cooking with Taebyn, story time with Taebyn. There's some dances. There's some music. There's all kinds of fun stuff. So go ahead and check it out. Sorry. Quick side note. At Furlandia this year, I ran into some little fur. She came up to me and said, I found out about you recently, and she binged every single one of my videos.
Cute.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, but thank you. Anyway, and then I'll be at ANW in January, and of course, in January, so I'll be doing Storytime with Taebyn.
I will be there with him.
And yes, Rayne will be with me, along with Cheetaro and TickTock. TickTock, are you going to ANW?
Yes, that is my plan.
So we'll be there. So I'll be doing my Storytime with Taebyn. Taebyn Sings Weird Al, and I'll be hosting the Anthro National Film Festival, which is why it's called the Anthro National Film Festival, hosted by Taebyn. So I better be there. Anyway, so come join the fun. And those are the things I'm doing.
All right. Well, Furs, that's it for us here at BFFT this episode. We love that you have joined us for a while, and we know you have a choice in podcasts. We appreciate you choosing ours. Thanks to TickTock for his report, and thanks to Cheetaro for that wonderful review. Remember, you can help support the show through donations, subscriptions, or sharing with others. Rayne, any final thoughts?
I would just like to say I love my fiance Ziggy, and all you furs out there, be kind to yourself and each other, and stay furry. Moobarkfluff, who and I end.
Cheetaro or TickTock, anything final to say?
Hey, stay fluffy, have fun.
Yeah, everybody, if anybody wants to give me suggestions on movies to review, I take suggestions in our BFFT chat, so let me know. But otherwise, I pick them myself.
Okay. Taebyn, the microphone as it is that you're using that's borrowed is yours. Say your final farewells, and let's go get a poof.
My final farewells, and let's go get a poof. Oh, yeah, and also, thank you all for listening. This has been a really great episode. I'm really, it's been happy. It's been great talking to all you furs and listening to stuff and everything. Has every fur been having a good time?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Barely's all...
I was like,
that was adorable. That was good. But yes, thank you. I hug you tight with pauses, all you furs. This is great. The fact that you listen to this at all is amazing, and we love you so much for it. We're going on 4.5 years, and this is great. Still going strong. Can't wait to run around and see you at a con. Yes, my cons aren't until next year. Barely will be at BLFC. Those are this year. So make sure to go say hi and give them a big old hug and tell them how
with the Off Leash podcast
and how much with the Off Leash podcast. And make sure you tell him send him your condolences for having to deal with a pup such as myself all the time. So on that fateful note, I say Moobarkfluff, stay furry, bark bark.
Barely Furcasting is an Injured Nerve studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms or can be heard directly at barelyfurcasting.com. The Furcast is produced, recorded, and directed by Barely Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by Barely and our associate producer Rayne Raccoon. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music, was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by Reg Day with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Reg Day, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music through silvermansound.com, Gator Tots on SoundCloud.com, the YouTube Free Use Library, and Epidemic Sound. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFT chat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at coffee.com/barelyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.